Your RAM gone. Your water gone. Why? It's because of these AI data centers. Basically, this is what happens under the hood. While you're busy telling ChatGPT how to get rich, it's sending that to the AI data center, which is using its computer filled with RAM and to generate your response. And while it's doing that, it's generating a lot of heat. This is where the water comes in to cool those computers down. And after all that, it gives you back some response you never knew you needed. Well, let me explain how we're going to fix this. Basically, instead of you sending your prompt to ChatGPT and ChatGPT sending it to the AI data center, we're going to be using something called Ollama. Pretty interesting. Instead of sending it to the AI data center, it's going to do it right on your computer. You're going to want to navigate to Ollama.com. And after you're at Ollama.com, you can see it's on the website. And this is amazing. Your data is always yours and it's on offline and it does everything on your computer, which is why we're using Ollama. Then you're going to want to click download and select your operating system. For Windows, you just click download for Windows, macOS, download for macOS. Linux is a little bit different. You have to paste the script, and for macOS and Windows, you can either paste the script or just click download. After you have it installed, you're going to want to search up Ollama. And it's going to pop up a window like this. And then I'm going to show you what to do next. So getting started with local AI is kind of weird. Let me just explain it really quickly. So basically, RAM is the main thing. How much RAM you have means how good of an AI model you can run. And obviously it has trade-offs because the AI we're gonna do, it works without internet and it doesn't go to any data center or stays private. But the trade-off is that you need to have kind of a good computer, but not really. First, you're gonna see how much RAM you have. So for Windows, you're gonna want to go to search and do about your PC. And about your PC it should say how much RAM you have. And if you have a graphics card, it'll say how much VRAM you have, which is also gonna work. So just note how much RAM you have down. I don't have Mac OS. I've never used it, so I think you just do about your Mac on it. And if you can't figure it out, just search it up. Be like, how to see how much RAM I have on Mac OS. And for Linux, you guys can figure that out. You guys are using Linux. Now this is the tricky part. According to how much RAM you have, you're going to pick a different AI model. I've kind of divided the RAM into these categories according to how much RAM you have. So 8 gigs, 16 gigs, 32 gigs, and more than 32 gigs. If you have less than 8 gigs of RAM, just quit, don't do this, it's probably going to crash your computer. And even 8 gigs is kind of pushing it, but it'll work on 8 gigs. Basically, you're gonna want to. This is something kind of weird, and this is kind of optional, but it really helps. You're gonna want to see how much RAM you're using right now. And for Windows, you can go to Task Manager, and you can see how much is available, which is 13 gigabytes for me. Your computers and your needs, it might be like 4, 2, 16, 18, who knows. This is total RAM, how much your computer has, and we're going to do it according to how much RAM you have left. A good rule of thumb is, let's say you have like 4 gigs of RAM left, you at least want to give your computer like 2 gigs of RAM left to give it some breathing room. So you're going to want to find a model which only uses 2 gigs of RAM. I know this is kind of getting weird and hard to follow along, but overall, whether on your Linux, macOS, or Windows, find how much RAM you have available. So that's your first step. Find how much RAM you have available. I spelled that wrong 100%. Yeah, so that's your first step. Second step is finding a model we're going to use. So this is going to depend on how much RAM you have available. So on models, if you go to Ollama.com/search, it's going to show you a lot of models which you can install. Let's say Gemma 4, which is Gemini's. You can see it says B, 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 right? And let's see like Qwen. It says B, 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 right? So an approximate is 1B is going to be equal to 1 gigs of RAM it's going to take on your computer. So if you have like 4 gigs of RAM available, you're going to want to find a model which is probably using like 2B or 3B. Just and make sure to give it some breathing room so it doesn't crash your computer. And let's say if I have like 8B left, I'm going to find a model which is probably like 6B or 5B. Now you can go here, pick whichever model you want. For me, just go to you pick any one of these. That might seem confusing, so just go here, search up Qwen, and then you're gonna see a bunch of options. For us, let's do 1.7B, which is a nice baseline because most computers will be able to handle 1.7B. And you see how it doesn't show that download thing for me? When you use it for the first time, it's going to install it, but I already have it installed. Let's try sending it a message and respond it back. Now, just to make sure it's private and everything, watch this. I'm going to turn off my internet. I'm going to type, "How are you?" and watch. Look, I have no internet and it's doing its thinking. It's working without internet and it's private, not sending it to the AI data centers. None of that, not wasting water, not wasting RAM. The only RAM it's using is on your computer. It does think a lot. This is the thing about open source or like models that run on your computer. You're going to want to find one which is perfect for you. But that's basically how to do it. And please subscribe. I would really appreciate it.